me freckles tight.
Look, I'm not going to lie to you, mate. It's probably one of the most dangerous things you'll ever do.
I'm pasty white in here.
Oh! No, keep going. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
You're a dog.
Not the time of a joke.
Shauno's a dog!
Well, here we are standing on what is, I reckon, one of the most iconic tracks in Australia. Of course, it's the west coast of Tasmania. Jocko's very first time in Tassie.
Absolutely frothing. I've seen so many photos of this place in particular. I've wanted to come down here for just about ever.
Mate,
finally
I was
here.
exactly like that. And every time I come back here, I can't get enough of this place. They call it the Wild West Coast for a very good reason, mate. Of course, we didn't just end up on the edge of a cliff face with a waterfall running down and we're about to drive our cars up there. No, we started much earlier on. So I suggest we take you back to where it all began and you see the west coast of Tassie like you've never seen it before. Our adventure begins just outside the little fishing village of Granville Harbour as we make our way towards a Tassie classic, the one and only Climies Track. This one is for the bucket list and we can't wait to get started. Well, I'll tell you what, this part of the world is nothing short of stunning. This is one of my favourite places in Australia. I'm so stoked to be down here. And just up in front, I'm going to meet Graham and we'll start our journey, which I'm really excited about. He did tell me as well that he's done some pretty trendy little mods to the D-Max, so he hasn't given too much away, so I can't wait to see it. And actually, he's just up here, so we'll pull up and we'll say good day. Sure enough, as we cross the bridge that marks the start of the track, the D-Max is parked up ahead, but something is definitely different. Have a go at this, eh? I don't even know if that's the same D-Max. Looks just a little bit flash.
Hello, mate.
What are you doing here?
Oh, I stole Graham's keys and
You're
just
here?
got on the boat. Yeah, I was
Where's
taking his
Graham?
gun. I don't know.
Don't know, he's gone.
Yeah.
Mate, look at the canopy.
I know, stoked. It's too good for me.
Far out.
Yeah.
You're not wrong there, Jocko. Turns out Graham's gone and broken his arm and is resting up on doctor's orders. So Jock's stolen his ferry ticket and wheels. Now the D-Max has just been fitted with this brand new aluminium lift-off canopy from our mates at Mitts Alloy. Graham's been waiting a long time to get his hands on his new canopy, and he's got a pretty clear message for Jocko.
Jocko, just in the shed here practicing a bit of left-handed darts, mate, and I thought I'd send you a quick message. You must be frothing harder than a dog that's just chewed on a bar of soap, and with good reason, mate. You're heading to Tassie, and I'm stoked for you, but I've got my eye on you, buddy. I have wanted a canopy on that D-Max for as long as I can remember. And finally, Tim, the boys at Mitts, they put one on, it's an absolute cracker, and I haven't even seen it yet. And I go and do myself a mischief. So, mate, no scratches, no dents. Get it back to me in one piece, buddy, but you're in Tassie, so go and do something epic. I'm going to continue practicing me darts, and I'll see you soon for a cold beer. Remember, I'm watching you, buddy. Well, mate, first time in Tasmania, there's no better way, in my opinion, than to start off on the Climies Track, mate.
I'm so keen. I'm so keen. Never been to Tassie. Ready to get into it.
Well, mate, fire up the old D-Max.
Sounds good. Let's
get into it, eh? Now, the Climies Track is an all-round mix of deep ruts, sticky bog holes and rocky climbs, so I'm going to air down my Wranglers to around 20 psi. Joining us in the convoy for this trip is our mate Anthony from Opus Campers, who brought something a little different for our Tassie trip, a flash-looking Y62 Patrol. This thing's an 8-cylinder, 400 plus horsepower petrol monster, and behind it is one of Australia's toughest off-road campers, the Opus OP2. Next up, and keeping a close eye on Jock's driving, is Tim and his offsider Luke from Mitts Alloy. Of course, these legends are the geniuses behind these SMIC off-road canopies. Rounding out the convoy is Michael from Fulcrum Suspensions, wheeling their usual weapon of a dual cab fitted with the latest and greatest suspension technology. Not a bad convoy, let's get into it. Oh, get a little bit of flex through there.
Oh, I'm not used to picking up wheels. Got to get used to that.
Next up, we've got a classic Tasmanian bog hole, and that means dark, wide, and very suspicious. This could be hard-bottomed or an absolute car swallower. With that in mind, I'm taking the usual precautions and I'm getting the Dominator Extreme winch out ready while I'm on dry land. All right, the winch controller up here so I can easily get it. Still can put the window up almost tight. I shouldn't get any mud in the cabin, but it doesn't really matter if I do. It is an 80 series, it is a workhorse, it is sooty. Let's give this a red hot go. little bit sloppy there at the side, just right near the end. Nearly came unstuck. I think there's a couple of big ruts in there. Oh, no. Ugh, the smell. Welcome to Tassie, they say. The smelliest bog holes in Australia. There's a fair bit of slop in the bottom of the bog, and so a bit of momentum is definitely required. There's nothing worse than getting stuck in dirty water like this, so the guys aren't hanging around. My hot tip is to go slow when you first enter the bog hole, then accelerate and get out quickly.
First bog hole in the D-Max, see how we go.
Yep.
Go on, old girl.
Yeah. Well done.
Oh, she's dirty now. Sorry, Graham.
What a drive, eh? What a drive. 40 was going to get stuck there, I won't lie, but just a little bit of left and right the steering wheel. You can see big chunks of mud just coming out from under that IFS. Found a bit of traction. Boom. He'll be stoked with that too.
Let's see if the Mighty Lux can make it through, eh? Woohoo! Easy.
With our first taste of mud out of the way, we're soon flexing our way onto the next challenge, where I have to confess, things don't go entirely to plan. Got a bit of a series of rock steps up here. There's a big hole on the right. I'm going to try and keep out of that. Actually, this looks pretty gnarly. That is. There's mud. There's mud. Turns out there's a bit of mud here, boys.
Looks like you've been swallowed.
Let's just call this a good chance for Jocko to find out where all the recovery gear is in the D-Max. You can thank me later, mate. Oh, I'm stuck. It's I didn't see that when you went over this little ridge, it just falls into a little mud hole. It's about an 80 series, precisely wide. Hey, Jock.
Don't worry, mate. I remember my first time full driving too.
Here we go.
What's going on?
Here we go. I didn't see this hole. I won't lie to you. The good news is there's nothing to really winch off either.
Yeah. What do you reckon? We'll have to maybe.
I'm thinking if you can get the D-Max, do you reckon you could drive through there?
I'll try. I don't know how I'll go get it. Oh, maybe.
Yeah, then I just winch off you.
Yeah, righto. And then I get all your beers tonight.
You might get one.
Oh, a couple of schooners, nothing wrong with that. All right, we'll give it a go. So I'm going to try and get around Shaun with the old D-Max.
Get one shot at this, Jocko. Don't cork it up, mate.
It's a little bit of a tight line, but she's a narrow girl and she's nice and stable, so I'm just going to try and feather the throttle through and see how we go.
That's a go. Well straddled, mate.
Loves it. Have a go at that. Shaun Whale outdriven by the D-Max. You beauty. Unbelievable.
Pace the walk tracks before you drive, and that's a little red hot tip I'm going to give you guys. I didn't, and you see what happened to me. With the D-Max hooked up to the camera car in front, we have a solid enough anchor for me to pull Sooty up and out of the mud hole. This is definitely a track where it really pays to drive in a convoy full of mates, because you're all going to get a chance of recovering each other. This track has a lot of challenges. There's really no easy option to get the camper trailer up this one, so line choice is going to be crucial.
I reckon you can do it. I reckon it'll take some careful spotting on your part, mate.
It will. A bit worried about the trailer falling in, but if he keeps it really straight from the start, what are you laughing?
Oh, I'm just excited for you to spot him up, mate. If you get it wrong, it still beers on me, you know that, right?
Exactly right. No, he'll drive this, I'm confident, mate. Yeah, nice and steady through this one, Anthony.
Pull in your hands from here, mate.
That's a ticket, that's a ticket. Little for me, little, yep, that's it. I'll tell you what, you need to be pretty confident in your product to take on challenges like this. But the guys at Opus have been tweaking their designs ever since they started coming out with us, and that R&D is really paying off.
Just stay on that. Use that sidewall. Climb, baby, climb.
Yep. Give it a little bit.
Beautiful.
Perfect, mate.
Nicely
really
done.
well done. Look at that for a wheel lift.
Well done.
IFS life, eh?
You.
Up we go. Last man up the climb is Michael, but those ruts seem to be perfect size to catch him out.
Steer up this a little bit. Oh, so close. Just hit that with a little bit more on that exact line. Yep.
Michael's only running a rear locker here, so he's really got to bump the front up to get enough traction to pull himself over.
Maybe try roll it up.
There we go, that's better.
It's a little bit more challenging than I thought, that one.
Oh, that's going to be fun with the trailer. Good noises.
Geez, lucky that trailer's got a good departure angle. You would have known about it otherwise.
While the rest of the convoy is navigating these rocks, up ahead Anthony's hit a spot of trouble on some unexpectedly soft sand.
Oh, the 62's digging in.
I know.
Not as, I don't reckon give it as much. Oh, Doco, very soft sand, mate. He's towing a camper trailer.
He does have a supercharged petrol V8.
That's a lot of power. You can hear it. You can hear it. The hills are shaking. There's that much power, mate. But look, one thing it doesn't have,
What's that?
Toyota badge.
That's true, that's true.
It doesn't
And
have that.
It's also very early in the trip. Don't want to
You
go too hard. So
I reckon he's going to give it a red hot go, though. He's not going to hang around. So I reckon we'll call him up and see what happens, mate.
Sounds good.
There's all soft all the way up there, to be honest. He's got to get right into this. Righto, mate. Take it away. Yeah, right. A lot of noise, I think, because the camper trailer's coming around the corner.
and just dragging on the...
It's built very tough. It's against the wall. I think we're going to have to get some max tracks out.
The aim here is to keep the driver's side up and off that bank, so we're laying out the max tracks almost like a road. Once he's around the first corner, we can reassess.
Right, mate, so we put those max tracks just out from the bank, so your aim is to hit the max tracks with your driver's side tyre. Probably not as much right foot to get up here, just really concentrate on the line. Stop there. That's actually really good. Look at those max tracks into the tyres now. The trailer's in a really good spot. Just gonna dig some of this sand out from under the tyres, put the max tracks in here. Keep in mind, you've got a gradient like this, really soft sand with the trailer on the back. We've actually got another set of max tracks, put it under the trailer. I think what a lot of people go wrong when they're towing trailers, they're only concerned about the tow vehicle, but the trailer, put max tracks under that too, and you'll give yourself the best advantage.
The trick now is leapfrog Anthony up stages, replacing the max tracks as we go.
Oh, perfect. So we're making pretty good progress here. One of the keys though, when you're doing this sort of recovery and using your max tracks to sort of creep your way up a hill like this that's really sandy, as soon as you start to lose traction, back off the throttle 100% so you don't dig the vehicle down. And by doing that, the vehicle's not that much sunk, so the max tracks will get traction again. We just keep repeating the process and we're almost at the top of the hill. I reckon one more, that'll do it.
Phew!
Nice one.
All right, time for Jocko. He's really going to have to get into this. Give it everything you got, mate.
Well, turns out he didn't give it everything it's got. He didn't try hard at all. That was probably one of the weaker attempts I've ever seen of someone driving the sand. Jocko, what was that, mate?
Oh, I didn't give it enough mayo, I think.
Give it a real go, mate. I reckon you'll make it look easy.
Yeah, that's a ticket, Jocko. Nice one. The rest of the boys have seen how it's done and will no doubt make it up with no dramas, especially if they jump on that little right skinny pedal. The Climies Track runs parallel to the ocean, sandwiched between the high mountains of a very spectacular coast. And speaking of, up ahead is the biggest challenge of the track and arguably one of the scariest challenges in the country. This is the infamous Granite Creek, ending in a waterfall above high cliffs with a narrow ford through the middle and an off-cambered climb out with a long drop below to finish it off. Now, if this doesn't get the heart racing, well, you better check your pulse. Here we go. This bit right here, one of the most iconic four-wheel drive challenges in Australia. This is the bit of the Climies Track that, far out, makes grown men shake at the knees. You go through a waterfall, which I'm about to do in a second. Mind you, the water's not as deep as normal. Straight up this rock step, and the vehicle gets all, the suspension gets unloaded and you want to sort of veer towards the edge of the cliff. You don't want to get this wrong, let me tell you that. At times, this crossing can be a raging torrent that needs a lot of care, but today, it's pretty manageable. The next bit though is still as sketchy as ever, with a big lean over towards the cliff edge. Now if you kook it here, there's the potential for a very long roll down to the bottom.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Okay.
Oh, don't do that to me! Been up here a few times and it's still super sketchy. Don't like, you got a cliff face right down there.
Yep, turn that way a bit.
Look at that. How sketchy is that? You can't go anywhere, but it does not feel good. Oh,
Nicely driven, mate.
it doesn't feel good.
Your heart beating out of your chest.
I've done that 3 times now.
And every time.
Every time I get this random wet patch that just forms in the seat. I don't know what it is, mate. Far out.
Well, no, that was well driven. And when the wheel picked up, I could see the fear in your
Hold on tight, mate.
White knuckles.
Hold on tight.
No, that was very good, mate. Let's get the rest of the boys through, eh?
Enjoy that one.
Oh, I will.
How good is that? Have a look at that view. That's what we're dealing with here. This whole track is just, it's sensational. You've got to do it. You've got to come down to Tassie, the West Coast, and experience this for yourself, because no amount of viewing is going to prepare you for what you're about to see. What you're going to experience down here is just far out. It's just really, really cool. Anthony came here to test the trailer, and this is going to be one heck of a test. This might be the first time a camper trailer has ever taken on the waterfall. Holy heck. Get you, boy.
Yep, stay on that. Nice and slow.
This is where things get real. With the added weight, this vehicle's going to want to slip over towards that cliff edge. That was a few nice.
Just go back like half a metre. I'll put some rocks in here.
Now this is a great call from Jocko to get some rocks under that driver's side rear. Now what that's going to do is make the vehicle feel a lot more stable as it's trying to climb up, because the vehicle really wants to lean on the side of the cliff. Getting the rocks under will keep it stable and make this climb, hopefully, very easy.
Stop. Go back just a touch, right hand down and just straight back. Stop there. I'm just going to put some rocks in behind the trailer.
Well, I'll tell you what, Anthony, it never feels good to lean over in a big, heavy patrol, especially when you're this close to a cliff edge. All right, second go with the rocks, and I reckon this should be enough to get him up and over.
Left.
That's it.
Nice and slow.
And he's up. What a drive.
Mate, that was a committing drive if ever I've seen one.
Wild, mate. Look, I've done this 3 times now. I don't think I've ever seen or heard of a camper trailer coming up this part of the Climies Track. Now, there is a bypass, but these guys want to test trailers.
Yeah,
I mean,
and if you're going to do it,
this is the spot to do it.
Yeah.
Big rocks, committing drive, like you said. You know the best thing about this, mate? Like, if I didn't put the wind up here, he certainly did. You're next.
And I'm next, yeah. In Graham's car.
Yeah, good's this, mate?
Oh, I'm into it. I'm so keen.
Look, the good news is, if you do dent that canopy, mate, we've got big problems on our hands.
Sick. All right, Graham, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
The thing is with this off-cambered section, if this track was anywhere else in the world, you'd drive it up with no real issues. Because it's on the side of a cliff, well, it really changes your state of mind, and so it should. This is one track you want to get right.
That's what happens when all the rocks get flicked out.
That felt real good.
No, you're right.
Look how Jocko tackles this. With his serious face on, he gets those tyres in exactly the right position to get up those rocks. Slow and steady does it on tracks like this.
You were up. You were up. Just get a little bit of rock packing going. It's just sliding off, and you don't want to slide this way when you're on this sort of track. So hopefully, slightly different line, some new rock packing. You won't slip off.
Now, this is the sort of track where Jocko would normally just point and shoot, but with the stakes so high, you really got to make sure you get it right, and you often find yourself second guessing.
Ooh. That's not right there, mate. This is the bit where you take it all in. If you get it wrong now, you're buggered.
Thanks, mate. Ooh, this feels real good. At least it's a lovely view.
Beautiful from up here, isn't it? How good's that? Well played.
Oh, that's excellent.
You're all right, mate.
Come on, Tim. You'll be fine, mate.
Oh, me freckles tight.
You wait till you get over here, big fella.
This is it's a sketchy. Look, I'm not going to lie to you, mate. It's probably one of the most dangerous things you'll ever do. The good news is there's a rock like probably about 50 metres down there that'll catch the vehicle before it falls in the ocean. So I don't reckon you're pretty safe.
Righto, start talking to me.
That's it, just ease her up here. To me. You can come to me. Come to me. That's good. On the lean.
Left hand down. Left hand down.
It's hard lock.
Huh? Yeah.
Take your front locker off.
Take your front locker off.
Have a look down there.
No.
Appreciate the view.
Close your eyes and just...
With the front locker off, Tim is able to steer again and get up to the final corner. But that lean isn't getting any better.
Well done, well done. Oh! No, keep going. Sorry, mate.
You're a dog.
Not the time for jokes.
Shauno's a dog! What are you doing to me?
Just slowly though, because you got to lift the wheel. Yeah, nice and slow. Nice and slow. Put your front locker back on.
So good.
I'm pasty white in here.
Good. Yes.
You.
Well done, mate.
Oh, I did that. Was
Cracking drive, mate.
That was wild.
I was packing, eh? That was
you should have been. You seen the angle.
I was like, oh! I'm pasty. I've had a big night out.
Well, that's pretty hectic. What do you reckon, folks? Would you give this one a crack? And would you be making the same face as Tim? Leave us a comment below.
Watching you guys do it certainly makes it look pretty challenging. Wishing I had a front locker.
That would be a worthy investment right now.
This is certainly breathtaking, but also unnerving at the same time.
You're not wrong, mate, but I reckon you've got the perfect rig for this one. Light and well sprung. And look at that, Michael's just eaten this challenge for breakfast.
one, mate.
Too easy, mate.
Very nice.
Have fulcrum suspension. It works, mate.
That is one to tick off the bucket list. That is awesome.
Well, there you are. That's a big tick for the Climies' biggest obstacle. Give us a thumbs up if you agree. Well, that's almost it for the Climies track, and it's time that we push on and find somewhere to park up and have a frothy. This has been Jocko's first real test of the new D-Max setup, and he's taken to it already.
just testing out the new spring setup that the boys from Fulcrum put in the back of the D-Max when we put this new canopy on. They went for a 500 kilo constant rated spring, and the reason for that is obviously we're carrying a bit more weight in the back of the vehicle, and that's one of the really important things you need to consider when you are setting up a touring vehicle like this D-Max, is you want to get all your heavy stuff in the vehicle and then set up the suspension and spring package to suit. The problem is if you do it the other way around, you might find that you'll be changing springs because they won't suit a weight that you desire if you decide to chop or change things. So for this vehicle, it's working perfectly with the heavier springs in the back, and we haven't lost any of the off-road articulation as well because there's still weight on those springs too, so they can move through their range of travel just like they normally would. So if you are looking for a setup like this to suit your touring vehicle, make sure you consider weight and weight distribution, and then get a spring package to suit that setup.
There you go, Tasmania, hey? The Climies Track. What an absolutely insane track. I mean, it's so scenic, and it shows you the wild west coast of Tasmania like no other track. The cool thing is about this part of the world is there's heaps of great camping opportunities. I mean, there's so many around here, but I think I'm going to treat the boys by taking them to a nice coastal camp that I know, down near Strawn, which is only about 40 k's away, so it's not too far. Heaps of daylight left. Tazzy, you won me over. The campsite we're heading for is tucked away near the mouth of Macquarie Heads. There's a heap of camp spots available with easy access to the beach, and pretty soon we find a great site to set up camp. When you camp in Tassie, you've really got to be prepared for all kinds of weather. I'm talking rain, wind, sun, and all in a few minutes. But we've absolutely lucked out today and found a shelter spot out of the elements, and soon we've got camp set up well underway. Now, I've mentioned before that the guys at Opus have really been fine-tuning their campers thanks to the R&D work we've done with them around the country. The newly redesigned OP2 has a bunch of little features that show just how much thought goes into their trailers. The core benefits of this camper, though, are still the same, built around its unique air beam technology, which means Anthony can close off a valve, flick a switch, and then relax as the camper sets itself up, complete with awning. How good's that? The Air Opus is already inflated as the rest of us finish up our camp setup, but soon the swags are out and beer o'clock can get underway. Over at the Mitts Alloy Canopy, Tim and Luke are enjoying the good life with a canopy setup that is perfectly designed for the four-wheel drive lifestyle, including inbuilt lighting, a 12-volt fridge, drawers, and of course it's totally modular, so you can strip the internals out, chop and change the setup in minutes. I'm just getting in the habit when I get to camp of just checking exactly what my battery status is, and as you can see, 99%, it's basically full. That's going to, no matter what I basically plug in tonight, I'm going to not run out of power. Now, one thing about my whole 12-volt setup is it doesn't mean so much out in the bush, and I suppose that's why I don't talk about it that often, but when I get home, I can actually plug my whole 12-volt system into mains 240 volts. So this is actually a battery charger as well, not just an isolator, it's also a battery charger. This is really handy though, if you want to make sure your batteries keep in tip-top condition. Now, if you let your batteries constantly get down to really low levels, well, you're not doing your batteries any favour. Plug them into mains, and this smart charger here is clever enough to put the right amount of charge in at the right time to keep those batteries in tip-top condition. So essentially, you'll get a longer life out of your batteries, and also you know that when you go on your next four-wheel drive trip, well, you're going to have 100% batteries. Now, while the Manager 30's really suited to four-wheel drive applications, it's also at home in things like caravans and camper trailers. When you arrive at a caravan park, you can plug it straight into mains and just run your whole setup via 240 volt. With everyone set up, it's time to kick by the fire, crack an iron jack, and relive some of the highlights of the day. Well, boys, cheers, eh?
Cheers, mate.
What a day, what a day.
Cheers, mate.
Mate, you know, Climies Track, stunning scenery. I mean, that waterfall today.
That had my heart racing.
Put the wind up you, didn't it? Didn't it? I'll tell you what's going to put the wind up you tonight. I'm just about to cook.
Oh dear.
So, hope you boys have got strong guts because I'm about to get in there. I had a bit of inspiration from the track today. I need some stuff out of the D-Max.
Okay, yep,
so
let's do it.
Let's get right in, eh? Like the professional chef I am, I'm starting this cook up with an essential ingredient, some liquid inspiration. I've got my apprentice chef on hand, so I hope you got a notebook, mate, because tonight you're going to learn a heck of a lot of new things, and some of it even to do with cooking. Well, how good is this, hey? West coast of Tasmania. They call it the Wild West for many reasons. There's, it's just
insane forward driving, and usually the West Coast is just full on with waves and wind and all sorts of stuff, but we've had an amazing time. I'll tell you what, we need to make a meal that's, I guess, worthy of what we're doing here tonight, Jock.
You've swapped co-assistant chefs, mate.
I know, look at this. Look, I don't expect much out of you tonight, mate, but
yeah,
I'll tell you what, the meal tonight is Wild West chicken cacciatore.
Ooh.
First things first, I'm gonna jump in here. I'm gonna cut onions. I don't trust you with a knife, mate.
Yeah, look, yeah, good call. Good call, very good call.
Those up. First things, if you want to jump into the old Domestic,
yep,
there's a couple of chilies in there. And a bit of garlic. There's a bit of garlic in there as well. Cacciatores, mate. A little bit of a one-pot wonder.
You like doing that, don't you?
Because, you know why? Make cooking easy.
Yeah,
because
it's also pretty hard to mess it up too. Like, I mean, for you as well.
Hang on, mate. Look, do you want to get the old heat on?
Hang on. No, what's it?
Oh,
you've got double. I saw this from you as well.
Did you, right?
Yeah.
Chuck a bit of olive oil in. Yep. That's enough. That's plenty. Yep.
How much garlic are we talking?
Well, look. You just do you, Jocko.
All of it. I'm just putting
all of it. All right, that's.
I'm going to save it a bit for once here.
Right, I better cut these.
Yeah, you better hurry up because right now I'm just cooking a big blob of garlic.
As a trained chef, I can get someone under my wing and just show you the basics of cooking.
It's rare for you to be under someone else's wing, isn't it, mate?
So you only found half the chilies in my fridge, did you?
Oh, there are more, are there?
There are. There are.
If you can't cook, just put chopped up onions and garlic in a pot, and everyone around will smell it, and job's done.
Right, mate. We've had a little bit of a blowout in the fridge, but I found some extra bits.
There's some big boys. Did you pick them on the Climies Track today, did you?
Look at that. Look at that for a mushroom, mate.
Yeah. I'm sorry, mate.
Try not to touch much, all right? Yeah, I did say this was the Wild West chicken cacciatore for good reason, because we're going to make this a little bit wild tonight. We're going all in with the chilies. If you don't like the heat that much, a little tip is to get rid of the seeds before you chuck them in, but I think we're just going to put the whole lot in.
Yep.
About 2 handfuls in the old scale. Oh, it's 2 seconds, 2 seconds.
Oh, hang on.
Phone call coming in hot now. This normally doesn't happen on a cooking scene.
Yeah, it's rare you get reception. Oh, it's
your hairy bloke. Your hairy little mate, Mr. Graham Cahill. Mate, how are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, good, mate. We're cooking up a storm at the moment, me and Jocko, mate. A chicken cacciatore from the Wild West. It's all happening.
Have you got all the right ingredients there?
Yeah, we're cutting up mushrooms right now.
Oh, heck, mate, don't cut up too many.
We're not going to say it, is he?
Yep.
He said it. He said it.
Not much room.
Mushroom?
Use too much. Just hang up on here.
Yeah, look, sorry, Graham, you've lost your position. A lot of chook here, mate.
Yeah, that's a bit of thigh. Look, you can use drumsticks, thighs, wings, whatever's on special, doesn't matter. Look, I'm just going to basically cut these thighs up into quarters. So nice big old chunks.
Yep. I'm doing a lot of stirring here. Can I do something else?
Fantastic. No, you're doing a great job, mate. Just keep
stirring.
Keep that up. I'll tell you what, when you're cooking chicken, one of the hot tips is raw chicken on your knife, on your cutting board is no good. If you've got other ingredients to cook, turn that over. Choose a new knife. I'm going to get a couple of ingredients.
Yep.
Right, mate. Got to have some
what do you got there?
Got to have some veggies. Got to have some veggies. So I'm going to cut these right up. Which one's the chicken one, mate? Because
no, that's a. Oh no.
I want to actually just cut the tip off that.
Just the tip?
Exactly right. Exactly right. These are actually pretty good size. They really are.
Oh, you're killing me. You got to stop. I need a blackjack to calm down.
Just cut those straight up. Want small pieces than that, obviously.
Yeah. I'm used to it. Like a small
imagine putting
pieces
that in your mouth.
Yeah.
Imagine putting that in
your mouth. You couldn't do it.
Way too much.
You couldn't do it, mate.
A little bit of Italian herb mix.
Herb mix.
A little bit of basil. A little bit of that. Tabasco, pepper sauce. This is the Chipotle edition.
Oh, okay. Put plenty of that in.
We got some fettuccine. I've got some pasta I want to do. So I'm going to get.
Actually, I think that's in the D-Max in the.
It is
canopy
actually.
doors.
It is actually. Get the pasta out of that. Go straight to the opus. Put it on the because they got a kitchen over there. I'll cut this one up.
Yeah, be careful with that, mate. That's more than what you're used to.
Average size.
Mate, I've come over here to boil some water. I'm very excited of that for you, mate. I'll leave you with that, and I'm going to get back to helping Shauno with the chicken. It's got instructions, all right? Right, mate.
That is looking absolutely superb. We've got the chicken almost cooked. Veggies are looking good as well. And now's the bit where we start adding a little bit of fettuccine
Pasta's on. Yep, pasta's on. We're good to go.
You got the tomatoes? Tomatoes,
sorry,
you had
mate.
one job, mate. You had 2 jobs, but...
Tomatoes.
Sorry,
oh, hello. Look at that.
Here we
go.
go. Tomato paste. We're gonna
put that in.
Straight in.
I'll mix him in.
Straight in.
Good, thanks.
A little bit of chicken stock in there as well. So, Tim, what do you reckon, mate? You hungry?
Yeah, no, it'd be good.
That is looking absolutely phenomenal.
Smells even better, right?
I know, the smell is, if you could only smell that, I'll tell you what, 10 minutes, fettuccine's gonna cook, we'll come back, and I'll tell you what, it's all gonna happen, and we're gonna eat, and it's gonna be good.
Let's go sit by the fire with the beer, eh?
Sounds good to me. Ooh, nice and warm. Here we go, pasta is ready. Jocko,
yummy.
call the boys up because it's ready.
Come on, boys.
We're on here. Key is grab a forkful. That's a fair bit. That's a fair bit. That's a fair bit. Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
look at that.
Do you want some more? A little bit more?
Sensational.
Yep.
No, that is looking good, mate. That is
Who's
looking
next?
good.
Who wants some more?
Everyone
Yeah,
have
there
a
we
bit. Tell you what, this is a meal that you should cook because it's a one-pot wonder. Really easy to cook. Bit of chicken, a bit of pasta, bit of tomatoes, all things nice. What do you reckon, boys? All right?
Wait on, wait on.
Outstanding.
It's nice, isn't it? It's got a lot of flavour.
Delicious.
That is a West Coast Tasmanian meal if I've ever seen one. They're warming up from the inside out. Let's go sit by the fire and enjoy this one. We've got
Sounds
a
good.
big day tomorrow. Tomorrow is track. It's tough.
We'll sort that out
Tough as they
tomorrow.
come.
Let's go eat our food.
You couldn't ask for a better morning here on the West Coast, and soon the lads are waking up and getting ready for another big day on the tracks. When you run an old 4B, it pays to stay on top of maintenance, so I'm giving Sooty the usual once over.
Now, if there's one thing you can be absolutely certain of on the wild west coast of Tasmania, that is wild weather. Now, a lot of people think in wild weather you can't use an awning. Well, this one here from Adventure Kings can be set up in any conditions, and I mean really windy conditions on the west coast of Tassie. Now, it comes with a bunch of features to make sure that this is not going to go anywhere. Now, firstly, with each of the poles, you can fit 2 tent pegs in, so that'll really secure the base down. Now, as you can see, I've fitted guide ropes to each of the corners, but also in between, so plenty of room for guide ropes means more points of contact on the ground. This thing is going nowhere, and also the fact it is 270 degrees, it's going to give me a stack of protection if that weather does turn sour. And another little tip that I get into the habit of doing whenever I set up an awning is lower one of the poles down, so if it does rain in the middle of the night, that rain's not going to pool in the middle of the awning and it's going to run off. And I'll tell you what, I can smell something coming from that opus, and it smells like bacon. Let's get into it, eh? Well, mate, 2 things I love in the morning: bacon and a comfy place to sit. And I'll tell you what, you're ticking both boxes at the moment, mate.
I am. Bacon really draws in the crowd of camp in the morning.
You wait, you wait. The boys will be in here so fast. I smell bacon from my camp, mate, and the boys won't be too far behind.
Sure enough, the boys have soon heard the sizzle and flocked around the opus like a pack of seagulls. Anthony, I hope you're ready to cook for everyone, buddy.
Well, what a start of the day, hey? Bacon and eggs in the morning. Now, as you're well aware, we take these Opus camper trailers so Opus can do R&D testing in all different matter of terrains right around Australia. You see, after the Cape York trip, we had an OP2. The guys came back and made a slight adjustment to this design. It's got better seals to keep dust and water out, a chassis that has a few minor upgrades and a bit more storage in the rear so you can carry more, and a new tent design that's lighter and easier to pack up, not to mention tougher. So it's little tweaks like that that you can only get from testing these camper trailers in the toughest of conditions right around Australia. And I'll tell you what, this one here, well, it ticks all the boxes. We've got a big day today, so best we get packed up. And I tell you what, when I say this, it's one of my favourite four-wheel drive tracks of all time we're going to do today, Lake Cumberland. So we'll get the boys G'd up and hit the tracks, I reckon.
Now, the rest of the convoy have never been up the Lake Cumberland track before, and let me tell you, they're in for an absolute treat. I'm talking tough, technical driving and a secret spot up the top you'll have to see to believe. The boys are already getting excited and waste no time in packing down camp. Soon enough, we're back on the tracks and wheeling our way towards the start of the Lake Cumberland track. Would you have a look at this place? It's absolutely stunning. tracks in Tassie can be pretty tough, but Lake Cumberland in particular isn't exactly camper trailer friendly. Fortunately, the Opus is pretty quick to unhitch, so we'll leave it down below and come back for it later. Well, here we go, boys. You see that mountain in front of us? We need to get to the top of that one. This is the Lake Cumberland track.
I've heard a lot about this one, mate. Is this one with that famous switchback?
Yes, it is, mate. It's get ready for that one, because that's probably hasn't got any better over the years, mate. But I guarantee this will be one of your favourite Tassie tracks. It's super hard, super technical, and you're gonna love it.
Perfect. I like that the mountains just disappear into the clouds. It adds a sense of adventure to it, I reckon.
Yep, the switchback on this track is on par with the Climies Track waterfall when it comes to committing. But the ruts at the start of this track aren't that easy either. Big rut. Holy heck. Yeah, a bit of a wheel lift even.
Beautiful. No, wait, no, it's not over.
Slowly, yep. If you want to see some really technical driving skills, then check out Jocko's technique here on these ruts. And I'll tell you what, he's not very good with the ladies, but boy can he wheel.
Yeah, that's it, a little bit. Oh no.
Woo! Go back. Or just drive it like a boss, one of the two.
What rut he says? What rut?
Ew! Yep. Straighten her up. Yes. Well done.
Tell you what, I'm liking having an automatic. It's nice and controlled. You can just feather the throttle as much as you need, or as little as required. Beautiful. Yeah.
Slowly forward. That's a good lift, that one. Look at the smile on his face. Loving life.
You!
Yeah, boy! Nice driving all round, lads, but get ready because up ahead things are going to get very difficult. And just like that, we drop into a deep rainforest. How wild is this place?
I'm just blown away that literally 20 metres ago it was just this open plains and massive views, and now I feel like I'm in some sort of prehistoric time zone or something.
Yeah, it's exactly like that, mate. It wouldn't be surprised if a dinosaur popped out any moment.
The only dinosaur here is that 80 series, I think, mate.
It is the oldest vehicle, mate, but with great age comes great beauty and amazing character.
Exactly right. She's wise beyond her years.
Here we go, got a real technical piece coming up here. Huge big boulders everywhere, like a bit of a rock garden. You just got to navigate your way through. Look at this. This is just insane. It's so fun. It's such a challenge. Real technical, slow driving. You know, if you speak to somebody in the fast car scene and say, you can have the time of your life doing about 1k an hour, I think you're crazy. But you've got to come and experience this because this is off tap. Jocko, you're going to love this section of the track, mate. This has got your name written all over it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Nice drive. The section of Cumberland track is just a maze of rocks, boulders and ruts. My Goodyear Wranglers are absolutely loving this rocky terrain and giving me heaps of traction and control on the climb. All the vehicles are being challenged here and very soon everyone's on the tools, spotting, packing rocks and running winches. It might be slow going, but I love this kind of driving. It really tests your skills and limits of the vehicle, no matter what you drive. Now while there's plenty of trees to winch off, sometimes the best winch angle is from the vehicle in front. Now if you don't have a shackle mount on the rear bar, here's a little trick to hook directly up to the hitch pin, and I'll tell you what, it works a treat and is very safe. Put the pin back in, and that right there is a great recovery point. You can do the exact same thing. If you needed to use a snatch strap, for instance, you can put the snatch strap exactly the same as a tree trunk protector. Obviously, it goes without saying, your tow bar, your tow ball, they're not rated, so don't ever use them in a recovery. And of course, put the dampen up over the heaviest part of the equation, which is of course right there. They're good to go. Up next is the main obstacle of the Cumberland track. This is one wild challenge.
Have a go at this, eh?
Oh, the famous switchback.
Yeah, this is probably one of the single scariest things you'll do in a four-wheel drive, without a doubt. And it doesn't look much until you get a vehicle up here, because obviously we need to go up there. You can't really just turn into that because you're off cambered. You've got just enough width for a vehicle to go. So my hot tip is to go forward, turn around up there, and then come back down on the switchback.
Yeah,
and even then,
safer.
Even then, like, I'll need spotting. I'll need to really lean to the right of the vehicle. Everything's going to go my way.
Just getting up there's going to be a mission.
It's going to be a mission, eh?
Righto.
All right. You've probably seen me do this before. Always keep a cable tie on the old seat belt so it doesn't retract back in. So on steep hills, I can always wear a seat belt. Let's give this a go.
As I mentioned, the trick here is to drive up to a side track to a turnaround point. So you can come at the switchback from a better angle, but just getting to the turnaround is a mission in itself. Yep, this bit here is really important to line yourself up for this switchback.
Touch her right. Yep.
This is where it gets real. This is already not feeling good.
The cameras really don't do this one justice, but I can tell you that this feels so close to rolling as you'll ever come.
Chuck that front locker on. Just want all the traction. I don't want to slip. So you slip. Not going to be pretty. How's the roof? Good?
There is just enough room to squeeze sooty between the bank and the drop. Not gonna lie, it feels absolutely horrible.
So sketchy. I think I'm through. Well done, Jocko. Well, puts the wind up here, that one. That's it, mate. Andy's got to go up, same as me. Turn around up there, it's going to be harder. He's got a wider vehicle, it's going to make this feel even worse. Right, Anthony, as you come down, mate, you're going to have to line yourself up, obviously with your driver's side as close to this as you can. But for the meantime, just come forward.
This does not feel excellent.
It's real slow. This is the auto's going to be your best, mate.
It's probably the worst feeling I've had in this car.
Well, mate, to be honest with you, it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Wow, look at that. There's just millimetres in that, but Anthony has driven this one like a boss.
That's sir, it's done. Well done.
You did a good 90% of that with a wheel in the air.
I'm not even gonna lie, that's scarier than gunshot.
With a bit of banging and scraping, Jock soon gets the D-Max turned around.
Perfect. Right, hang on a sec. Hang on 2 secs.
Oh, you're on your phone, mate.
It's a hairy little mate. Just 1, 2 secs. Yeah, mate.
Hey, Shaun, how you going, mate?
Yeah, good. We're just on the tracks at the moment.
How's Jocko going?
Speak of the devil,
Did you
mate,
treat
he's
the D-Max well?
he's in the D-Max
Tell
driving
him
it
to
right.
be bloody careful, mate.
Hang on. No. He wants to know, have you been treating it well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
All wheels on the ground, mate. Canopy's in mint condition. He said to be careful, mate.
Oh, thanks, Graham.
Look, mate, we're just on a pretty standard sort of track at the moment.
Like a beach?
Yeah, like a beach. Yeah, it's like, exactly like a beach. Yeah, that's right. No, good, mate. We'll send some photos. All right. He said to take it easy.
Okay, I'll try.
You hung up on him.
Now, Jock loves this kind of technical driving, and the D-Max has got a bit of a narrower profile, even with the canopy. And just like that, he snuck up the climb. Well done, mate. I'll tell you what, Tim must have had enough of scary angles because he's left his co-pilot to handle the driving.
I'm sorry for any damage, Tim.
It's all good, mate. It's just a rental. Yeah. Sender!
That's it, mate. Listen to your boss. Send her up. The bigger canopy doesn't seem to hinder the boys at all on the turnaround, and is soon lined up for the switchback.
Yep. That's it. Yep. And that way. So, yep. You're right, straight on that.
That scared the hell out of me.
Did that? Because you realise. There we go.
Phew, that was sketchy, but he's through.
Nice work, mate. Nice work.
Now, if you want proof of how challenging just getting to the turnaround is, check out Michael. He's had a decent crack, but had to opt for the winch to get over that rock ledge. Let's see how he goes on the switchback.
Oh, this off-camber part's a little bit unnerving.
Yep.
Oh, that's better. Feels like it's levelling out a bit.
That's some smooth driving there, mate. The fulcrum rig is soon up and over.
Oh,
Right on down. Yep.
glad that's over.
We might be deep in forest now, but not far ahead. We should be back in the sunshine and onto a mountaintop spot that is nothing short of magic. Still got to get there though.
Jacko scratched it, mate, has he?
Nah, it's come off unscathed by the looks of things.
Yeah, good as this, eh?
Yeah.
With this sort of driving, you'd expect damage. You would, you absolutely would. And for this to get completely unscathed, I can't even see really a scratch on this. What's the secret, mate? These things are built so well.
So we've designed all our own extrusions to go inside to build full subframes. Everything's got extra bracing, over-engineered, but kept it nice and light with the aluminium.
Well, mate, look, if it was a lesser made canopy, a track like this would sort it out in a matter of seconds.
Oh,
I mean,
seconds.
it wouldn't last. I've seen you guys actually, you know, hit a few rocks. It's actually, you haven't come completely unscathed. I mean, you've been touching this up against a few rock walls and stuff like that. And look at it, it looks absolutely mint still.
Yeah.
You do a fair bit of testing, right, to make sure that they're tough.
Yeah, so everything starts on the computer, so it's all CAD design, and we load test everything there, and then we put it together, and we come out to places like this and rip in.
Well, you keep a good eye on Jacko, because we're not done yet, mate. There's heaps of hard bits coming up.
I know.
And trust me when I say, when we get to the top, it's all going to be worthwhile.
I'm excited, mate. This is brilliant.
Let's get in, all right?
Cheers.
At last, we're coming out of the trees, but the track, well, it isn't quite done with us yet.
Let's get into it.
These Wranglers have a tread design that actively clears out mud as they spin, improving traction in sloppy conditions.
Here we go, straight through.
Wind these up. Don't want mud in Graham's car.
Oh, almost, mate. Give it another crack.
You! Nice and smooth. Does well the old D-Max.
That's it. Into it.
It's gonna have to get a bit vigorous. Keep coming. Back around. Swing it out.
Was this a clown show? Oh yeah, little rock step. You know, some four-wheel drive tracks you really got to work for the end destination, and this is one of them. It's just super steep. Whoa! Gotta get those tyres in the right spot too.
Jock has really got a good feel and a measure up with the D-Max and is driving it like a pro. You better watch out, Graham, because I doubt he's going to give the keys back at this rate.
Oh, done.
Yoo-hoo!
Sensational drive. Beautiful.
With that last challenge out of the way, we're finally near the summit.
I'll tell you what, this has been one insane little track. We've been in the rainforest for most of it, and we've just popped out on top of a mountain, and you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't read it in a book. There is a lake on top of this mountain. It's absolutely stunning just to come out of the tough sort of low range stuff and see a lake like this and mountains all around us. We can actually still see the beach behind us. This place is absolutely wild. Have a go of this, eh?
Oh, sometimes you just gotta sit back and take it all in. Now that's not something you see every day, and just another reason why Tasmania is so worth a visit. This really is a pristine part of the world to go exploring in. Not bad, hey? I'll tell you what, let me put a question out there. What is the most scenic four-wheel drive destination you've ever been to? Put in the comments below, I'd love to hear where you guys have been.
Well, mate, you said there's going to be some views at the top of this track and you were not joking.
No, you're impressed or what?
Oh, stop it. It's just everywhere you look, it just blows me away.
It's amazing. It's not very often, in my experience anyway, mate, you come to the top of a hill, well, not a hill, a mountain. You've got a lake on top. If you look that way, you've got the ocean. You can see the full Trial Bay down there. You've got rocky landscapes all around. It's just insane, isn't it, mate?
And what I love is we did a proper low-range track to get here. That's my favourite sort of wheeling, when there's something at the end that's rewarding. It's the best.
Put a fork in me, mate. I am done. That is insane. We still got to get off the mountain, though.
True, true.
Even just take a moment just to appreciate this view a little bit more. We go on, get down, find a campsite before it gets dark.
Sounds good to me.
What do you reckon of Tassie so far, mate?
Oh, I'm lost for words, mate. It's unbelievable.
It's good, isn't it? All right, let's soak this in, mate.
Sounds good.
Get off this mountain.
Well, that's Mount Cumberland for you folks. What an absolute cracker. It's been a huge adventure, but for us though, it's time to make our way back down to the coast.
I'll tell you what, boys, that was one epic track. What do you reckon?
Oh, mate, absolutely frothing. Sensational views and tough driving. Count me in.
Mate, your first time down in Tasmania, everything you thought it would be?
Oh, and more. I just can't get over that everywhere you look, there's something sensational to look at, and the proper tough low range we've been doing as well. It's just, I need to come back down here again soon, I reckon.
And Anthony, mate, you drove that patrol really well, the trailer. It saw some stuff this trip.
Yeah, I'm glad we got the refined OP2 down here. Tell you what, it's I reckon it's past the flying colours.
Yeah, sure did, mate, sure did, and it was a dream to have at the campsite too. Hey, Tim, you got a copy, mate?
Got a copy, Shauno.
Well, mate, two of the most gnarly tracks in Tasmania, done the Climies and Lake Cumberland. What do you reckon?
Mate, stunning. Lake Cumberland was a pure surprise. That was an awesome spot. And I didn't think we were going to get up there, to be honest. We got there. Jacko done well.
And, mate, the fact that your canopy is in one piece and looks like the day you built it, it's, yeah, mate, it's done well.
All those years of hard work are paying off, mate.
That's good. And, Michael, you got a copy, mate?
Yeah, mate.
Mate, that Hilux of yours, mate, it flexed its way through everything. It was a little beast, mate, an unsung hero.
It definitely surprised me, but the suspension's definitely working well. I mean, that's why you kit them out, eh?
That's exactly right, mate. All right, well, let's head down to the coast here. I reckon we'll go park ourselves on the edge of this headland, mate, and have a good look at the Wild West, eh? Well, what do you reckon, Jocko?
Mate,
Wild west coast of Tassie.
It's absolutely blown my mind. It's almost blowing me off the cliff as well.
That weather has really taken a turn. I mean, we had a couple of good days of weather. You can't go to the west coast without this experience as far as I'm concerned. A little bit of wind, a little bit of rain coming from the sideways direction. I'll tell you what though, those tracks, the Climies, Lake Cumberland, two of my all-time favourites, not just in Tassie, but the whole of Australia. It's a big call, but...
I can see why as well. I can see why, and I hope Graham isn't too upset at me for how I drove the D-Max, but...
Mate, you did a good job with that.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Graham, if you don't like all the
You've
mess
really
I made,
moved into it as well. I saw some of the messages you've left inside that canopy, mate.
Yeah, I have to leave a few reminders for Graham.
Well, mate, I'll definitely be coming back to Tasmania. This place has everything for us four-wheel drivers.
Oh yeah, frothing. If you are a keen four-wheel driver, just get your car on the Spirit of Tassie and get down here, because you will not be disappointed.
Well, I'll tell you what, mate, before we get blown off this mountain, I reckon we head back to camp and what do you reckon? Camp a couple more nights, maybe a couple more tracks?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, mate. You lead the way and I'll follow.
Go. All right, folks, we'll see you next time on
Four Drive Action.
You sure will.
Stick around folks, because up next you're going to find out more about the gear we rely on to make these trips happen, plus get a sneak peek of our next Tasmanian adventure.
Well, I'll tell you what, mate, the wild west coast of Tasmania is about as tough as four-wheel driving gets, in my opinion. And when you're doing tough four-wheel driving like that, you really have to have products that you can rely on. And I want to go through a couple of the products that have really helped us along this trip. Now, first up, you no doubt would have seen them on Sooty here, and I've been running them for a few trips now. Of course, I'm talking about the Wrangler MTRs. Now, those tyres are an absolute game changer. They're really good the grip out of those things is insane. I reckon on the rocks they really come into their own. In fact, I was running the Goodyear MTRs on the Dirty 30 when it was a full-size wagon many years ago. And one thing I found about them, with the Kevlar sidewalls, you never get punches on the sidewall. It's a really strong tyre with heaps of grip. Love them, mate.
Definitely, mate. Yeah, speaking of gear that you're absolutely loving at the moment, the Fulcrum suspension in the D-Max just had a new leaf pack and new rear shocks put in just before this trip to suit the new canopy, and it's just been riding absolutely awesome off-road. You can really feel that the suspension's handling the weight well, and haven't lost any articulation really off-road. Just because there still is a bit of weight in the canopy, it can make sure the suspension is still articulating, and I still get plenty of travel in the rear end as well. So I'm absolutely frothing on the suspension in this thing.
Mate, and look, you almost get that with me, so it must be pretty decent.
Almost, yeah.
Tell you what, as far as tracks go, the Climies Track is one of the roughest roads. I think, you can't really call it a road, one of the roughest tracks I've ever been on. It's just potholes, big rocks, it's just really hard on your back. Now, I fitted a set of Stratos seats in the old sooty here, and it's been so good, mate, to have that support up right here in your lower back. It just, you get out of a full day's driving on tracks and you feel really comfortable. Even to get down here, I had to do about 2,500 K, so it's a lot of time behind the wheel. I'll tell you what, your back thanks you for a good set of seats. Now folks, coming up after this, we do have the outtakes, and don't go anywhere. Chances are this fella is going to star in them, because there was a lot of stuff we couldn't film and put in the show, but no doubt you'll see some of the highlights coming up right away.
Hi and welcome to the Tim and Jacko Show. Righto. So it shall begin.
Right, winch rope up here. No, that's not a winch rope.
One,
yep.
Two,
We're all twin lock last time. You just dribbled.
Did I just dribble? When he said twin lock.
GPS signal lost.
What do you got? Professionalism, boys, come on.
Oh no, I'm in trouble now. Just don't wave it in front of me.
What do you reckon about that track, eh, Jocko? Okay, mate, what a track, eh?
Sorry, why does this always happen? I'm so
I don't know. I know it's so funny, man. This was one of the scariest switchbacks you'll ever do off-road.
Yeah, I'm laughing.
And I'll tell you what.
No, I didn't, I swear. So now I'm in this car, I can finally do my good Graham impression.
There's still a mushroom here. We might save that for later. Don't put too much mushrooms in there or else.
On our next adventure, we head deeper into the wild, wild west of Tasmania. Strap yourselves in, folks, because this one's going to get loose. Coming soon, only on YouTube.